A quick little fun fact, guys, is that the two directors of Game Night are going to be directing Flashpoint. So after watching this film, I don't know how to feel about that. Welcome back, guys. I went to the pre-screening of Game Night. This movie stars Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. This movie is about the couple Annie and Max, who are a superpower couple when it comes down to Game Night. They host it every week. They have their friends over. But this time, Max's brother Brooks comes into town and he decides to host his own game night with a little twist of a murder mystery. Kind of more of a kidnapping, but you get the point. Now, I'm doing this review a little bit different because I didn't know much about the movie besides the title. I actually didn't watch the trailer before watching this movie, so that was a good thing, because after I finished watching the film, I went and looked at the trailer, and I think it could have gone worse. Now, the plot is pretty interesting, and it's that of a murder mystery game. Brooks gets taken away when this really isn't a kidnapping story. I won't say why he got taken away because that will spoil some of the moments in the movie itself, but there are some good action scenes and some funny bits throughout the entire film. Now, I think Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams' chemistry worked pretty well off of each other, and then the rest of the cast, I would say, is kind of generic because you have the hot guy that plays the really dumb person like throughout the entire film. You also have Winston from New Girl, who basically plays Winston from New Girl. So if you like him, then you'll like him in this movie. Same thing with Jason Bateman. He kind of plays the same role that he would play in Horrible Bosses, Identity Thief, or even Ozark. But you have his brother Brooks, who is like the better version of him. He's always trying to one up him in any situation possible. But the best part about this film and actor, I would say, came to my surprise, and that's Jesse Plemons. And I will talk about him a little bit more like later in my review, because it sucks that he wasn't in the movie for that much. For the most part, the dark comedy of this film is pretty well contained. I would say a lot of the funny moments come in like forms of like bits and little like segments, because at points it feels like a lot of the stuff building up to a joke takes too long, and I felt like it was dragging along for the punchline, even though you kind of see it coming, and you can kind of see that in the trailer, which is a good thing because I didn't watch the trailer. But for example, like there are scenes in the trailer that they show which kind of tell you the punchline already from the movie, which kind of sucks. But outside of that, there are other funny bits that are thrown into the mix outside of the trailer. But one thing that the directors did in this movie that really impressed me was the way that they shot these overhead views of like the neighborhood, like the city, or any location that they were in, because they made it seem like all these locations were part of a game board. It kind of felt like they fit in a Monopoly game or just any game board at all, and I thought that was pretty well done, and I love little details like that, so I think that was pretty well done on their part. Now, in a movie like this, you have to suspend your belief because it is a murder mystery, and the main thing about a movie like this is that you're gonna try to predict things along the way, and I would say that the movie does get pretty predictable, especially towards the very end. It's like you kind of know what's gonna happen because you get this whole twist at the end, and trust me, this is not a spoiler at all, because what murder mystery movie doesn't have a twist towards the end? But my problem wasn't with the twist. Even though it was kind of predictable, I actually found it very funny and it was pretty well done. But a thing that the movie does, it just keeps going, and it kind of turns into this Fast and Furious with an airplane chase scene, and I just kind of felt like it was unnecessary. And at the same time, you have like this big actor come in like at the very end, and he kind of just felt shoehorned in just for that last bit, and I feel like the movie could have ended just there with the twist. Another thing about the film is that there's this whole plot point with them not being able to have kids, and they bring it up in the most random of situations, especially when there's a lot of action trying to go down. I feel like it was just random to put it there, and I felt like I wanted to get back to the action. And speaking of action, this movie has a lot of pretty good action scenes. I would say that a lot of them were pretty well done, especially the scene where they're like running around with this expensive egg. I felt like it was all taken in one shot, and I love stuff like that. So in a way, little segments from this film gives me hopes for Flashpoint. So that was one of those scenes that I was like, wow, okay, that was pretty well done. And there is actually a lot of action, like just a bunch of like car chase scenes, the airplane chase scene, there's a lot of fighting, there's a fight club at one point, so it gets pretty ridiculous, I would say. Now, the best thing about the film, and you can take this either way, to me it was Jesse Plemons. But he's a neighbor who is a cop. He has a little cute dog, his name is Sebastian. His wife left him, and he's very awkward, and at the same time he's very sad that they don't invite him to game night at all. So I kind of feel bad for him, but a lot of his awkwardness works so well in his role because it adds a lot of humor, and at the same time you kind of feel bad for him. So I wish he was in the film a little bit more, but by far I think he was the best thing in it. In the end, guys, I would say that this film was pretty well done for the most part. A lot of the stuff, like I said, it becomes pretty predictable. I would say if you're into Jason Bateman movies, then you will like this one. I wouldn't say it's better than Horrible Bosses or Horrible Bosses 2, or maybe kind of up there, but I think it's better than Identity Thief in a way. So I don't know if that tells you anything. Maybe that sums up my entire review or what I think about it, but I feel like I'm not gonna remember this movie probably by next week. So I'm gonna give this one a 2.4 out of 5. If you're a big Jason Bateman movie fan, then I probably recommend it to you. I obviously got a pre-screening to it, so I got to watch it for free. So in other words, I probably want to pay for this. So guys, make sure to subscribe. I'm actually gonna review the movie called The Ritual that's on Netflix. I know I'm a little bit late, so I'll get to talk about that in my next review. So help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by subscribing to my channel and also hitting that little bell for notifications. Make sure to share this video and give it a big thumbs up, guys. But as always, stay tuned.